You wake up. You don't know where you are. There's a notebook on your chest. The handwriting is yours. It says, "Read this immediately. You have amnesia." Trust the notebook, not your memory. By the end of this video, you'll understand what it's like to live a life that resets every 10 minutes. Stay until the end. The last level will make you question what actually makes you, you. Level 1. The accident. You're 26. You're driving home from work on a Tuesday that feels like every other Tuesday. A truck runs a red light. The last thing you remember is headlights. Too close, too fast. You wake up in a hospital bed 3 days later. Your skull is fractured. Your brain has swelling in a region called the hippocampus, the part that converts experience into long-term memory. The doctor explains your situation slowly, carefully, like he's said this exact thing many times today already. You have anterograde amnesia. You can still remember your childhood, your name, your family. But you cannot form new long-term memories anymore. Every new experience holds for a few minutes, then dissolves. Like writing in sand right before the tide comes in. You don't believe him. You feel fine. You remember him walking in. You remember his name. 10 minutes later, a nurse walks in. You ask her who she is. She tells you, gently, that she already told you twice today. You have no memory of that conversation. None. Not a fragment. This is the first time you feel the floor disappear beneath you. It will not be the last. Level 2. The first week. You're still 26. You've been told this is your second week in the hospital, but to you, it feels like your first day, every single day. Your family starts a notebook system. Simple facts written in block letters. You were in a car accident. You have amnesia. This is your sister, Mara. Trust this notebook. You read it. You understand it intellectually. Then 10 minutes pass, and the understanding is gone, but somehow the fear underneath it stays. That's the cruelest part nobody warns you about. The facts disappear. The emotional residue doesn't. You feel anxious all day without knowing why. Your body remembers being scared 100 times today, even though your mind can't recall a single one of those moments. Doctors run tests, MRI scans, cognitive assessments. They show you a list of words, ask you to recall them 10 minutes later. You score near 0 every time, like clockwork. There's a specific kind of memory you keep, though. Procedural memory. You can still tie your shoes. You can still recognize a fork. Some skills, once burned deep enough into your brain before the accident, survive untouched. But anything new, any new face, any new fact, any new room, it slides off you like water off glass. Your sister Mara starts crying in the hallway when she thinks you can't hear her. You ask her later why she looks upset. She says it's nothing. You don't remember asking her that same question 9 times that day. Level 3. Learning to live in 10-minute loops. You're discharged. You're home now, except home doesn't feel like home, because every time you walk through the door, it's the first time again. Your family rebuilds your environment like a museum exhibit of your old life. Photos labeled with names and dates taped to the walls. A whiteboard by your bed that says, in your sister's handwriting, today's date. What happened today? Who has visited? You wake up every morning and read it like scripture, because to you, it is scripture. It's the only continuity you have. You develop tricks. You set timers on your phone that buzz every 8 minutes with a message. Check the notebook. Reorient yourself. You learn to recognize certain emotional patterns even without specific memories. If you feel a flicker of warmth looking at a photo, you trust that flicker, even though you can't explain why. Your old job is gone. You can't hold information long enough to perform most jobs. Disability paperwork becomes a constant battle, made worse by the fact that you forget every conversation with the caseworker the moment it ends. Mara has to relive every phone call for you, every appeal, every denial letter. You become, in a strange way, a stranger living inside your own house. Every doorway is a surprise. Every face that isn't in your photo book is a small jolt of fear. But something deeper than memory keeps pulling you forward. You don't know why, but you keep writing in the notebook. Every single day. Like some part of you, beneath the broken machinery, refuses to disappear quietly. You don't know it yet, but that notebook is about to save your life. Level 4. The notebook becomes your identity. 2 years pass, though to you, time barely exists in the normal sense. What exists is a stack of notebooks, dozens of them now, filled with your own handwriting, describing days you will never remember living. You read old entries sometimes. Today felt hard. Mara seemed tired. I think I cried, though I don't know why. You read your own grief like it belongs to a stranger, because in every way that matters to your memory, it does. But patterns emerge across the notebooks. Recurring names, recurring fears. A recurring sentence you wrote 11 different times across 11 different days. I think I'm still in there, even if I can't prove it. That sentence becomes something like a mantra, something you keep discovering about yourself, again and again, as if some core version of you survives underneath the wreckage and keeps leaving messages for the next version to find. You build elaborate systems, color-coded folders, a daily checklist taped inside your front door so you orient yourself before you even walk outside. A photo each morning, time-stamped, so future you can verify how much time has actually passed since you woke up. Your case becomes interesting to researchers. A neurologist specializing in memory disorders asks if you'd participate in a study. You say yes, every time she asks, because you don't remember saying yes the 4 times before. She tells you something that changes how you think about your condition. If this story is gripping you right now, this is the moment to hit subscribe, because what the researcher discovers next is the turning point of this entire story. Drop a comment with the word notebook if you're still here. Now, back to the study. Level 5. What the researcher discovers. The neurologist runs an experiment. She has you complete a simple maze puzzle every day for 2 weeks. Each day, you have zero conscious memory of ever seeing the maze before, but your completion times keep improving. Day 1, it takes you 4 minutes. Day 14, it takes you 40 seconds. You have no memory of practicing. You'd swear under oath you've never seen this maze, but your hands know the path. Your body learns something your mind cannot access. This is called implicit memory, and it survives in a different part of the brain than the explicit, conscious memories your accident destroyed. It means a piece of you is still learning, still growing, still being shaped by every single day, even days you can never consciously recall. The discovery hits you differently than any notebook entry ever has. For the first time since the accident, you feel something other than fear when you think about your condition. You feel proof. Proof that you are not simply erased every 10 minutes. Some thread of you survives the cut, even if you can never see the thread yourself. But proof doesn't pay the bills, and it doesn't fix what's coming next. Level 6. The isolation. You're 30 now, though you experience your life in fragments rather than years. Relationships are the hardest part nobody prepared you for. You meet someone. He's patient, kind, willing to reintroduce himself every time he visits. You feel a genuine spark each time you meet him, fresh, the way you must have felt the first time, every single time. He tells you, eventually, that you've been together for 8 months. You don't remember a single date. Not the first one, not the 50th. He carries the entire weight of your relationship's memory alone. Every inside joke exists only in his mind. Every milestone, every fight, every reconciliation, he remembers it all, and you experience none of it as continuity, only as information relayed to you through a notebook entry written in your own hand. It's a profoundly lonely kind of love, loving someone who has to fall in love with you over and over, while you can never accumulate the relationship the way he does. Eventually, he breaks down crying and admits something that terrifies you. He says some days, it feels like he's the only one who remembers you ever existed at all. You don't remember that conversation an hour later. But that night, in your notebook, you find a single line you must have written right after. I think today I broke someone's heart, and I'll never know how. Level 7. The system that finally works. You're 33. After years of trial and error, your family and care team build something that finally gives you a version of stability. A wearable device, recommended by your neurologist, captures short video logs throughout the day. Every conversation, every event, automatically time-stamped and transcribed. Instead of relying purely on handwriting, you now have a searchable archive of your entire existence. Each morning, an AI-assisted summary plays for you. A calm voice narrates the highlights of the previous day before you even get out of bed. Yesterday, you spoke with Mara about your nephew's birthday. You laughed twice. You felt anxious around 3 p.m. for an unknown reason. You went on a walk and saw a dog you liked. It's not memory. but it's the closest thing to memory you've had since the accident. You start to notice something. Even without conscious recall, your reactions to certain people and places have grown warmer over time. Your nervous system has, in its own quiet way, been keeping score the entire time, even while your conscious mind kept losing the scoreboard every 10 minutes. You realize identity was never just about remembering. It was also about the invisible architecture beneath memory, the patterns, the instincts, the procedural truths your body holds onto even when your mind cannot. You are still you, just assembled differently than everyone else. Level 8. 7 years later. You're 33, and also, somehow, still every age you've ever consciously experienced since the accident, frozen in a string of present moments that never connect into a continuous timeline. Mara is older now, tired in a way that comes from 7 years of being someone else's memory. She still writes in your notebook sometimes, alongside you, filling in gaps you can't fill yourself. You've stopped grieving the life you would have had. Most days, anyway. You've built something else instead. A life made entirely of present moments, each one complete and whole on its own terms, even if it never connects to the one before it. Researchers still study you. Doctors still don't fully understand why your particular case responds the way it does to certain memory aids. You've become, without ever choosing to, one of the most documented cases of anterograde amnesia in modern medicine. And somewhere right now, someone else is waking up in a hospital bed, reading a note in their own handwriting for what feels, to them, like the very first time. They don't know yet that some part of them will keep learning anyway. That love can still reach a person even when memory can't hold it. That identity might live somewhere deeper than the part of the brain that got broken. They'll discover, the same way you did, over and over, in 10-minute fragments, that being human was never really about remembering everything. It was about what kept surviving, even when memory didn't. The notebook keeps filling. The story keeps being written, even by someone who will never get to read it twice. If this story kept you watching until the very end, that's exactly why this channel exists. Subscribe for more and tell me in the comments, which level would break you first?